Welcome back, Tigers, to the first pregame in a while. We took a little bit of a break over the cold winter season. A lot of games happening, boys, since we were last here. How was everybody's break?
It was great.
Great.
How was yours?
Oh, it was good. Watched a lot of basketball, and the temperature changes, things get colder, but this USN team, quite the opposite. We got hotter over that cold break.
Yeah.
That was cold. We talk about a guy like Max Elliott. He was kind of having a rough beginning of the season. Starting to heat up. This is when he's starting to become a really integral part of this team. A guy we've been talking about for a while. Needs to step up to the plate, and he did. He's had multiple double-digit games. What have you boys seen from Max so far?
I've seen slight progression throughout the entire season. He started off, he's been a starter, but I feel like Coach Jones takes him out early in the game and doesn't really put him back in much. But as the season's gone on, he's become more of a main piece for this team. And I know that in the last web game, he did a good job defending Steven, which was a key part in us winning. So.
Yeah, that was great. But another thing I'd like to add about Max is I him play a lot more in the paint. I went to a couple games over winter break. I saw them play NCC, which is a homeschool team, but they were really solid. And I got to see a lot of Max, get in the paint, getting him the ball in the paint, letting him finish. And I think it's a good, to see him working on other aspects of his game. So if he has the shooting aspect, and he also is able to get in the paint, that just opens up a lot more options for our offense to run. Having two guys as Clay and Max being able to play in the paint is gonna do a lot of good for this team going forward this season.
Yeah, and it's and we're talking about this team becoming, having a new identity. This program we just beat Webb, who we lost to last time they were around, and then we beat forget the name of the school, to be honest. But we're seeing a change in defense, and our defense is something that's kind of been a big part of our destruction as a team. We struggled a little bit on man to man, and
Well, I was watching the MCCS game, and we won that one, so it was good to see that. And I like to see how Coach Jones switched up the defense to a 1-3-1, and that looks like it's working really well in the Tigers' favor. And a lot of good defenders on this team. Clay, Max, I think Harry's one of the better defenders. So when they get in the game like that, and when they're able to run certain different defenses, it shuts down different aspects of other teams' games. And I really liked the defense that they've been playing of late. And I think it'll just keep getting better because, as the season has gone on, we've only seen this team get better. And I think it's only up from here for defensive-wise for the team.
Also, I've heard from insight from multiple of the players that they kind of switch the defense when guarding the interior centers on the other teams. So they'll have one guy guard them, but then a guard come in and try to steal it, and that's been working pretty well.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of guard to guard stuff. We played. long, harping on Clay Payne. And he's just been such an integral part of this team.
What impresses me the most about Clay so far is that he's been consistently mentally and physically tough throughout the entire season, and he's been having to guard the toughest players on the other team pretty much every game, and he's only a sophomore. So I mean, I feel like there's no player that has a brighter future on this team than Clay Payne.
Right, and going back to Mahoney, I mean, last year he didn't have as big of a role on the team. You said he'd come in, he'd make a couple threes. That would be his game, or his role is to just shoot. When he's passed the ball. This year he was given a bigger role. He had big shoes to fill, and he stepped up and he stepped into that role and really shown that he can be a big time player for us. Making those threes, big time shots, creating his shots. You've seen what he's worked on. Coming into last year, you didn't consider him a guy that would be a shot creator. Now he can consider himself a shot creator, and I think he's only going to get better too. So I'm really liking what I've seen from Mahoney and Clay as well. So those two guys are really impressive this year.
Now, something I've noticed watching the Tigers recently is that the starting five is not the same starting five it was at the beginning of the season, which is what you'd expect, obviously. We're not seeing Austin out there nearly as much. Why is that?
I think we don't put Austin in as much now is because you have a guy like Cam Hensey who's averaging over 4.5 assists a game, which is what you want at high school basketball level. You need a point guard, a guy who's going to feed, a guy who can play defense, and Austin can do those things too. I think Cam has just been really feeding the ball well and a little bit better in this case, but either or, both of those guards can step up. Any guard can step up.
I also think the experience of Austin allows for him to come off the bench and set the tone for the bench players. You can guarantee good minutes from Austin no matter what. So it's almost better to start Cam Hensey and then know that you're going to have a good reliever no matter what.
Right.
And he also finishes the games with Austin too. So both players are just as important. And
that's always important to note that the sixth man is just as important as the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth guys. We're gonna talk about tonight's game. GCA got a tough matchup. I think GCA has historically been a pretty good team. What are USN gonna have to do tonight to really step into that role?
Yeah, GCA is a tough opponent, but I don't think USN has nearly as many. Will face nearly as tough opponent as they did against Webb, and they still got the win. So that's a huge bright spot in their season. I know that no matter what happens, they can look back at that and know they did something well. But they just have to keep doing what's working. I mean, they're shooting the ball well, they're getting it down low well with Clay Payne and Max Elliott, and I think you just got to keep doing that against the GCA team that's got a lot of skill.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about a win over Webb. They were really a good team that came into our house and beat us, and USN was hungry for that win. I think they got to be hungry tonight to win.
Oh yeah.
They don't win coming into that game comfortable. We see USN overcome adversity, but is USN able to stay in a spot where they don't have to come over adversity? I'm taking USN in this one, and I don't think that's a terribly hot take. I think they'll be juiced up on homecoming.
Yeah.
They just came off a great win, and I see them winning this game.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Aiden. I think USN has it today. I say it in every broadcast. The energy of the crowd is a huge part of the game, and there's going to be no bigger spotlight than tonight, homecoming day. And I think they come out on top.
Yeah, I'm about to agree with both of those guys. I think it's going to be loud. I think it's just going to be too big of a stage for GCA to play with. And, when you have the home crowd, it's just it's going to be the biggest game of the year for sure, biggest crowd. USN is going to feed off that energy, and I believe that they will easily handle GCA tonight. No matter how good GCA is, I don't see any team beating this team.
Well, easily is a tough word there, Sid. Right? I would say that we're gonna be juiced up, but we have seen USN play to its opponent before, and I don't even know if we are the better team right now than GCA. But I do think that we are on a win streak, and I think that's gonna propel us. It's gonna be a really close game. I think. I don't think more than 5 points in this one. Sid, are you thinking more than 10 points?
I'm thinking it's a blowout. I'm thinking it's 15 plus point win. Yeah, there's no way. I don't see a team losing on their homecoming. I don't see a team coming in here and dominating at all tonight. I think we just got the stronger team tonight. I think we're on a hot streak after a big win against Webb, which I doubted USN against Webb, and I called myself out on that. I didn't think they was going to win either game. So I think this is going to be an exciting game to watch for the fans at least, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
Yeah, I'm rolling with all you guys here, especially Sydney. I think it's going to be a blowout. Yeah. I mean, USN's won their last 2 district games, and both have been away. We actually lost to both teams earlier in the season, so we're obviously on an upward trend. And I don't see us stopping. I mean, this is what we were like last year, mid to late season. We went on that late run. You saw how we ended, state semifinals. I think we're going to continue that trend.
Right back at state semifinals.
Well, it looks like the USN is the big dog in this one. It's just, we've seen them play and win as the underdog. Can we play as the big dog? Can we win as the big dog? And can we stay as the big dog?
Yeah.
We got to be the big tiger in this situation.
We also have a target on our back. I mean, everybody wants to beat us. We won the district.
Yeah. We're the team to beat now. Thanks, guys. Well, USN has been an underdog program in the making for a long time, and it's now that we're on top, you got to watch yourself. It's king of the hill here. All right, well, student teacher game today. Yeah, you guys gonna take any picks for that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
we got a few of us are playing in that today.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to play in the student faculty game. It's fun. I'm coming out of retirement. I'm excited to give Greg Anderson some buckets. Coach Anderson, I'm coming for you. Miss Officer, I'm on your head today.
Yeah. Sydney, Aiden, and I all played basketball freshman year. Yeah. So this is coming
out of retirement, Hall of Fame freshman year basketball.
This is definitely gonna be a good return. We'll see what I have out of my bag of tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like the Charles Woodson figuratively in this conversation.
Absolutely.